This is Martin Auer speaking again from Science Sales Academy. And this is video number 117. And it is about the question how to communicate price increases. The customer contact is our salesperson's daily bread. And yet there are topics that are unpleasant to address, also and even for us as salespersons. For many salespersons, the issue of price increases falls into this category. However, it is easier for us to better handle our own discomfort when addressing price increases in customer conversations if we are able to assess in advance and beforehand how the customer may react to this issue. But when does a customer accept the price increase, and what can we as salespersons do to reach this? Of course, no customer is happy when for one product or service he or she is supposed to pay more than only a few days before. However, as a customer, you are more willing to accept a price increase if you can understand how it comes about. Therefore, it is our task as salespersons here to convey to our customers in a credible and understandable way how the price increase comes about. In general, there are three different types of customer reactions that we salespersons may encounter in the communication of price increases. The first one is the acceptor. The customer accepts the price increase directly. The second one is the questioner. The customer in a first approach asks critically. And number three, the runaway customer. The customer no longer buys. The first one is the acceptor. If the customer accepts the price increase directly, from our sales point of view, this is the supposedly simplest case. However, this situation will only occur if we are in a comfortable position to represent the sole supplier on the market, or if we have a particularly close relationship with the customer, for example, in the form of a very strong brand name or high customer loyalty. There is then no real competitor who could undercut the price, and so the risk of a non-acceptance of the price increase by our customer is relatively small. However, it should also be said here that even a monopolist is not in a position to push any price increase, because even if a monopolist might not have a competitor for whom the customer might decide, the customer can still decide to not buy anymore at all. That means for us salespersons, even if the customer has to accept or accepts the price increase directly, this process could lead to a clogging of the business contact. The customer buys then, but is a little bit annoyed, which could quickly fire back on us. This could be the case if, for example, the market situation changes. Therefore, also in this case, we probably should convey the reasons for the price increase and thus try to eliminate the feeling of a constraint or forced situation for the customer. The second type is the questioner. A plausible explanation of the background of a price increase is even more important in the probably most likely scenario. Most buyers will react to a price increase, at least in the first reaction, with skepticism and will question it critically. The enforceability of the price increase then depends essentially on the arguments of the salesperson. And those must not only be good, those must be convincing. Standard answers like, well, everything is becoming more expensive, usually do not suffice. On the contrary, general statements like this can even harm the relationship to the customer. Like so often, a good preparation is the best basis for this, and then, at the decisive moment, have the arguments available as convincingly as they are in reality. There are convincing arguments for a price increase in the following areas: further development on the product with additional benefits for the customer, qualitatively higher quality components, improved service, higher performance of the product, higher degree of individualization of the product portfolio, higher scope of delivery, for example, the premium control software, which has always been charged extra before, cost reduction for consumables, and many more. Just open your mind. Think about it for your specific situation and market and develop a convincing wording for it. The important thing is, as always, these features must actually exist, and we should be able to clearly point out to the customer what additional benefits the more expensive product offers him. Concrete demonstration of improvements to the product or more services are usually good to convey and are accepted by most customers as a justification for a higher price rather than obviously standard sentences which always repeat themselves, just like the press releases which are the same every year about the reasons for the increase in mineral oil prices at Easter. If you are a salesperson in a strong competitive situation, then understandable and convincing arguments for the price increase are more important, as customers are even more sensitive to price increases and the barrier to the alternative product may even be lower. Number 3, the runaway customer. Then of course there are customers who simply do not buy anymore after price increase. This can then also happen silently. For us as salespersons, this matter should by no means be forgotten about then, because nevertheless information in both directions are still important. It is worth to ask the customer here for the reasons to quit the business relationship, as well as for options to possibly restore the business relationship with them. We should identify our customer's view so that our offer may be optimized in this case. Perhaps we can transform this runaway customer into a customer again. Of course, the principle and the primacy of the correct approach of the customer types also apply here, since not every type of customer will be accessible to the same arguments. The DISC model also provides valuable help here. For a C engineer, we should have an explanation for the price increase which is based on refined and impressive technical details, while the arguments for the D CEO should come from the area of efficiency improvement and cost reduction. Please subscribe to my channel and never miss a new video here on the right bottom side. It's totally free of cost for you and there are no further obligations whatsoever. For you, it is only one single mouse click, and for me, well, it helps a lot. Thank you very much. And as your personal starting point to more effectiveness in everything what has to do with people, just click on this little eye at the right top side. Here is free for download your personal DISC booklet, your most important foundation for success in strategic sales in life science and biotech market. You have questions? Just contact me. My contact information is on my homepage, thesciencesalesacademy.com. Thanks a lot for listening and watching. Take care and see you again next time.